Your voice was breaking. Whether my voice is audible or not?
Yes, audible.
Am I clearly audible to all?
Yes, now it is audible. Now it is audible.
Okay. So, um, actually, we have 3 months program. So, we cannot adjust anybody for anybody else. This is the problem because up to the month of December, our programs have been packed, have been scheduled. So, because of the delay of the flight of Dr. TPS, he could not reach at his destination in time. Therefore, he requested me to postpone his talk just 2 hours back, and I requested some speakers to deliver a talk, but they failed to respond because of the lack of time and space. Because for preparation, a speaker should take maximum time. Anyway, we shall discuss something very friendly. We shall have an academic engagement in this evening. Um, that is the beauty of this forum. So today I have decided to speak on uh, the very challenging topic, I shall say, that is humanism, rationalism, and theism. I am shocked for so many reasons that the terms like humanism and rationalism, these two words are mingled with the word atheism, the term atheism. That appears that these three terms, humanism, rationalism, and atheism, they are compatible terms. They are interconnected in meaning and significance. But I do not agree. I think that these three concepts, humanism, rationalism, and atheism, are independent concepts. Humanism can be discussed independent of the concepts of theism and atheism both. A theist can be a rationalist, a theist can be a humanist. Similarly, an atheist can be a rationalist, and an atheist also can be a humanist. So there is no restriction for being a humanist, whether he is a theist or an atheist. Whether one believes in God or not, whether one believes in the authority of the Vedas or not, whether one belongs to any religion or not, that does not affect the notion of being a humanist, the ideology of being a humanist. It is very natural that as we are human beings, we should be human by nature. We should not be animal by nature. We may not be godly, but at least we should be human by nature. Otherwise, we shall fail to address our swadharma, our swabhav. Our swabhav and swadharma indicate our being a human being. So it is very natural. It is not a philosophy. A man will become a human. It is not a philosophy. It is common sense. It is the minimum ethics. Similarly, a man should be rational. Man should use his reason. man should not be irrational. But in case of theism and atheism, there is a freedom of choice. One may be a theist or one may be an atheist. But there is no choice in case of being a humanist or a rationalist. Every man should be a rational man. Every man should be a humanist. If we properly understand the meaning and significance of the word humanism and rationalism, then there is no choice for man to be rational or irrational, to be humanist or non-humanist. But so far as the theism and atheism are concerned, we may exercise our free will to be a theist or an atheist. So the variable factor is being theist or atheist. The constant factor is being rational and being a humanist. But when some people claim that theists are not rationalists, theists are not humanists, though they do not directly say, but the ideas go with their convictions, with their definitions, with their descriptions, with their approach towards humanism and atheism. So that amounts to incomplete understanding of the philosophical concepts that we use and that we try to uh, live accordingly. So that is the problem. When we are identifying any concept with our way of life, with our ideology, we should be very much careful to be holistic by nature. That my idea, that my ideology should be holistic by nature. It should not divide, it should be inclusive. So, what is humanism? There are many types of humanism: secular humanism, existential humanism. I am not going to that because we shall have a very common sense discussion here. Generally, what we understand by humanism, it is said, it is defined in this way, it is understood in this way that humanism focuses on human freedom, human rationality, human welfare, anything that is good for man, anything that is good for society, anything that is based upon reason, evidence based facts. If we follow that, and if we have a sense of sympathy, empathy, compassion, love, sacrifice, the ethical values, then we can say that I am a humanist. Because these are the general human qualities, human values, which makes us different from an animal. This is the general meaning of humanism. Welfare, that is Lokasangraha in Bhagavad Gita. Welfare, betterment of all, based upon human freedom, based upon human reason. Then what is rationalism? Rationalism is a tool to fulfill the goal that is humanism. Whatever the values of life, in a common word we can say humanism. Humanism is a set of values. So many values we live, we understand, that is good for man and society. If any tool that promotes this goal, leads us towards this direction of humanism, that is reason, that is rationalism. So rationalism is the means, is the tool, and humanism is the goal. This is the common understanding of these two terms. That means rationalism is an epistemological tool. That if there is something and we try to know something, then we have to follow a tool. And rationalist philosophers, they believe that religion is the very reliable source of knowledge. And whatever is not based upon religion, we should not accept that. And that is not scientific at all. Scientific approach means that is religion based. That should be our explanation, our understanding should be religion based. Therefore, what humanists deny? Humanists deny the supernatural power, supernatural explanation of anything. What they promote? They promote the scientific explanation of everything. Explanation of what? Explanation of the world. Explanation of the world affairs. Explanation of the politics. Explanation of the social life. Explanation of economic life. That means explanation of a man and his surroundings, his world. All these explanations should be explained by reason, by the rational faculty. Then this is the approach of humanism, and it should not entertain the supernatural explanation that there is something God, that there is something a Superman, there is super divine force, something like that, that is beyond human intelligence, beyond human, that is mystical by nature, something mystical by nature. Such things should not be entertained by human beings, because we are living in the age of post-modernity, and we are hoping for the best civilization. And the best civilization can be defined in the sense of best use of rationality. And the goal is humanity, humanism, and we call it humanism. So all these things I say about humanism or rationalism, I agree. And we all agree. We have no problem with such claims of humanism and rationalism. Problem takes place only when we contradict ourselves. If we say this much, there is no problem. But when by saying this, when we fail to stand by our conviction, our declaration, our claims, so that creates problem. Then what is the contradiction? The contradiction is that we say that humanism promotes human freedom. Humanism promotes rationality. Humanism promotes human values. We say this, but when we speak against human freedom, saying that one cannot believe in supernatural entities, this I think one should not be so rigid about anybody's belief system, because man should have that much freedom to have and to live according to his belief system, because religion is not the entire resource of human life. We cannot live a whole the day from morning to night by religion. We need emotion. We need. We believe. We live by our beliefs. Our belief system matters. It may not affect others, and it should not affect others. If my belief system does not affect anybody, then what is the wrong? If I believe in Jagannath, Lord Jagannath, if I believe in Lord Shiva, if I believe in Allah, if I believe in Jesus Christ, what is the problem? If anybody has such a problem, that means he is not doing his duty. He is not focusing on his duty. Suppose I am claiming a theory. Suppose I am creating a theory. I subscribe to a theory then I shall say how far I can fly, how far I can be constructive in my opinion, in my thought. That is the very constructive aspect of any new idea or a new approach. If I shall be engaged in criticizing the opposites, what they are doing, then that is my weakness. I cannot establish my strength by criticizing anybody else's weakness. This is not the constructive approach of a philosopher, of a thinker, of a scientist. I shall stand by my own conviction, my own opinion. But one thing, I shall be humanist if my belief system does not disturb, does not do harm to anybody else, even not to my wife, even not to my child. Husband and wife live in one room, in one home, in one family, but they can live according to their ideology. One should not impose his or her ideology over the other partner. That is the minimum sense of humanism we all should have. So what is our goal? Our goal to be a human being, manur bhava. Be a man, be a man. This is the goal. Dharma hina manu pasu bhi samana. Ahara nidra bhaya maithunam cha. There is a sloka that why man and animals are same in ahara nidra bhaya and maithuna. In these things, four things, man and human beings are same. But the only one thing that differentiates man from animal, that is dharma, the sense of dharma, sense of righteousness, what is right and wrong, the sense of discrimination, this discriminative knowledge, this viveka jnana, that is rationality. Rationality means we should have a sense of discrimination, what is good and bad, what is right and wrong. This is the sense of discrimination. If we have that, then we are called a rationalist. If we do not have that sense of discrimination, viveka jnana, then we are not rationalist. So an atheist also may not be a rationalist. A theist may not be a rationalist. Vice versa is also true. A theist may be a rationalist because a theist may have the sense of discrimination, because this is the definition of being rational, that he will use his reason to discriminate from good, discriminate between good and bad. If one can do this, he is a rationalist. So what I personally believe, or my family, or my society in which I belong to, that does not affect my discriminative sense. I may belong to Hinduism, I may belong to Christianity, I may belong to Islam, but I may not lose my sense of discrimination. Sarva Dharma Samanaya, this is the slogan. Sarva Dharma Samanaya, that does not mean that I don't have my own identity as a Hindu. I have, not only I have the identity that I am a Hindu, I have my family identity also. As I have the identity that I am the son of my father. This is my identity. I cannot deny, I cannot compromise with this by any provocation, that I shall compromise with the fact that he is not my father. Similarly, why there is the problem that I belong to a particular community, particular society, if it does not affect the society, if it does not affect humanity, it does not affect anything else, it is not harmful. When there is harm, when there is dogmatism, when there is disturbances, when there is communal rights, when there is religious conflicts, we also do not agree with such things. It is generally believed that those who are theists, they also accept dogmatism. No, theists are also rationalists in the sense they know what is dogmatism. They know what is critical thinking. If we take reason as the tool, then we can also apply reason to believe something beyond human beings. Reason, if reason is the tool, if suppose knife is the tool, knife will not decide that it will cut only the vegetables. Knife is the tool. So if reason is the tool, it will explain science, it will explain religion, it will explain socialism, it will explain economics, it will explain everything. So reason is the tool only. Reason is not the deciding factor. Reason is not the authority that it will take one side. Rationalism or humanism or theism or atheism. Reason does not play that role. Reason is the only tool. As you use, so you be responsible for that. So who is a humanist? Who is a rationalist? Who knows the proper use of reason? Number one. Number two, if we take reason as the tool, now my question is, who will guide your reason? Whether your reason is correct or not? If reason is an instrument, if reason is an epistemological tool, it will decide everything, it will discriminate. Then the question comes, who will check your reason? Is reason is autonomous? Is reason has its own authority? If so, then man behaves like machine. Man is a robot. Man is a programmed machine. If reason is autonomous, if reason acts according to the logical rules and mathematical rules without human interference, I am not using the word consciousness, but I mean that. If reason is autonomous, then man is nothing but a machine, is a programmed machine, like artificial intelligence, like ATM machine. But man is not that. Man has consciousness. Man is conscious that he is using reason. We can say in a very common sense way. Man is conscious that he is using reason. Now we shall analyze in another way. In your lifetime, year 1 to year 80, suppose you live 80 years. In which year you will be able to use your reason? Not certainly not in the childhood. You cannot use your reason at the age 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now children are very intelligent. They are using their reason at the age of 2, 3 also. But in the lap of his or her mother, that child is not using reason, but he is also living. She is living, the child is living. So in what way he is living? If reason is the only asset that can evaluate our personality, that can evaluate all types of contributions of human life, then what is the life of a child? What is the life of a too old man who is somehow unconscious or subconscious, who is not fully conscious, who has lost his memory? The person who has lost his memory because he is too old, or a patient who fails to use, do you think that they are not human beings? Do we think that they are animals? This is what is happening in the Western countries. Father is useless because he has no pension. He is useless because he has no reasoning power. Father becomes mad, therefore he is useless. So Pita Dharma, Mata Dharma, Atithi Deva Bhava, where from we can learn these values if we shall apply only the reason to evaluate everything. Mathematics, husband and wife will fight for mathematics. Your money, my money, your argument, my argument. He who is very fine, very expert, very smart in argument, he will win. Survival of the fittest. Reasoning relation. You will argue, I will argue for nothing. But for the sake of argument, we shall argue. If I am successful, then I am successful. This becomes the human relation if we take reason as the only value of human life, only source of epistemology. The question comes, who guides reason? Suppose you take a decision in the morning, in the evening you counter that decision. That no, I was wrong. Oh, I had decided in the morning, but now I rethought, therefore no, it is not. Cancel this deal. Why? Then who did this? You are the same person. You took a decision in the morning and you are taking another decision in the night and still another in the next morning. Then who is witnessing all these changes of your mood, all these changes of your arguments, your flow of thought? So we call it consciousness. If at all we shall decide that we shall not go to the root, we shall fly on the air, that we are simply live by reason, then that's okay. But man is not that. Man is not reason. Even man is not his sense organs. Man is not his mind only. Man is not his emotion only. I don't say that man is only his emotion. Man is all inclusive. Man needs emotion, otherwise he will not be accepted by his family. Nobody will love him. Nobody will accept him as a man if he will have no emotion. Sometimes you know that your friend is wrong, your wife is wrong, your child is wrong, but you have to deal with emotion. You shall not always be ready for fighting. Yes, you did something wrong, therefore you will be punished. This is not the High Court. Your family is not the High Court. Your classroom is not the High Court. Your marriage party is not the High Court. In life, we believe in compromise. In life, we believe in contextualism. And humanism is contextual. Humanism is not so rigid. Humanism is contextual. Contextual means in a particular context, whatever is beneficial for man, that should be undertaken. So this is humanism. Humanism is not that there is a fixed rule, what has been said in the Vedas, what has been said in the scriptures, that should be followed. But this is not humanism. Humanism believes in contextualism. In a particular context, one rule, one law can be changed for the betterment of a human being, for the betterment of the society. So that flexibility is there in humanism. Then what rights we have to interfere with anybody's belief system? Man should enjoy at least his freedom having his own belief system. He may change his dharma. He may have his own belief system. So if a theist says that he does not like an atheist, then that is dogma. If an atheist says that he does not like a theist, that is also dogma. That means both of them are not humanists. If they belong to a particular form, they should be in Krishnamurti's language. J. Krishnamurti's language, human personality should be formless. We should not belong to any form. Being a Hindu, You may behave like you should behave, you should live a life of a humanist. You should be a man first and a religion second. But the second status of a man should not be interfered, should not be challenged by anybody else. Humanism is the first order, I agree. But the second order, the third order of a human being should not be challenged by anybody else. Theists should not do that, and atheists should not do that. So, rationalism is not anybody's cup of tea, it is everybody's cup of tea. Every human being is rational, Aristotle says. Every man is rational, every man is philosopher. Every man has a thinking ability and thinking authority. He should think, he should have that freedom. Therefore, Socrates died. He preferred to die only for this truth. The truth should be established. I should exercise my freedom of thinking. So that is the point. If we are really humanist, then we should be very liberal. We should be very inclusive by nature. Then now I am telling you what are the main claims of the so-called rationalists. They claim, I have gone through many books and I have read it. They claim that they do not believe in any dharma, they simply believe in Manava dharma. This is one declaration. The second declaration is they say they don't believe in law of karma. Third declaration is they don't believe in supernatural power. What they believed, we discussed. Now we shall discuss what they do not believe. They do not believe in the law of karma, and they say that everything is accidental, nothing is incidental. There is no causal connection, there is no necessary connection between cause and effect. Because if we shall adhere to, if we shall accept these concepts, law of karma and causal connection, supernatural entity, then we shall we shall be bound to believe in metaphysics. This is their conviction. Therefore, metaphysics spoils everything. We should have a scientific bent of mind, so we should not believe in law of karma. Law of karma in the sense papa and punya. Law of karma in the sense that karma leads to a particular consequence. Law of karma in the sense as the karma shows the consequence. They give the counter example that a person who has done all wrong things in his life, a criminal, but he dies a beautiful death, and his children are well off in the society. But in the contrast, a virtuous person who is very much sincere, very much dutiful, he is very much honest in his life, he may suffer and he is suffering. His children are suffering. So why is this variation is there in the law of karma? If we say that as we do so as we sow so we reap, if our karma leads to the definite consequence, then why such variation? But this is a misinterpretation. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Karmanya Vadhikarastu ma phalesu kadachana. Bhagavad Gita does not say that this karma will result, will yield this type of a result. Rather, Bhagavad Gita says, you don't think about the result. So I am worried why atheists are thinking about results. Theists are not worried about results according to Bhagavad Gita. Those who are theists, those who believe that something supernatural power, it may be Lord Krishna or any name, something impersonal, that is responsible for the karma and its consequence, then why I am so worried? So this is the real humanistic standpoint, because we focus on karma only. We are not diverted towards consequence. Bhagavad Gita says so, very popular verse. Karmanyeva adhikarastu ma phalesu kadachana. We don't have any right for the phala. That means we are not worried about phala. We don't hang over for the result. We are not worried at all. We don't have any asakti, any attachment for the result. We are karma yogi. This is the view of a theist. Then what is niskama karma? Niskama karma says that 5 points. That the karma should be done in the sense of a duty. This is a slogan of humanism. That we should do our karma in the sense of a duty. So Bhagavad Gita promotes humanism, having a theistic model. Second, we should not have a katrutva bhava. I am doing, but I am not the agent. I am doing, but I am not the agent. I don't have the katrutva bhava. That means my entire focus is on the karma only, as the sense of a duty, as the sense of a yajna. So here I suspend not only God, but also my own agency. So here I become a real karma yogi. This is the second point of a niskam karma. And the third point is, even I don't have so much attachment with my karma, I am doing it the sense of samarpana. It is fully dedicated, that I am simply an instrument. This work is done by me. Fourth is, I am doing my work, my duty voluntarily. That means freely. I am free. I know what I am doing. This is also another sign of niskam karma. That means I am not dogma. I am not dogmatic. I am not. I don't have any dogma. I don't have any bias. I am not influenced by anybody else. Even Lord Krishna says to Arjuna that whatever I taught, I taught. Whatever you think to be right, you do. That means there is no influence between teacher and student, between scripture and the learner. You should be being free means being rational. When I am doing niskama karma, I should use my freedom. And fifth one, very important point of niskama karma is, whatever I am doing, that is not only my duty, that is not only without agency, without the attachment of phala, that is meant for lokasangraha. I am doing it for the public welfare. That may be second person, that may be 3 persons, that may be a big society. I am doing it for others. That is lokasangraha. And that is the minimum qualification of humanism, that whatever you do, if it is meant for the society, social welfare, public welfare, that is humanism. Now all these 5 points, what I told about niskama karma, that is about humanism. But the person who is thinking that I am not the agent, I am simply an instrument, nimita matra bhava Arjuna. I am simply an instrument. I am doing my duty for yajna. That person is a theist, no doubt. And that person may be an atheist, no doubt. So when I am doing my duty, if my focus is on my duty, there is no question of its phala, its causal connectivity, its past reference, its future reference. All these things are rejected in the proper scheme of niskama karma. So why atheists are so much worried about law of karma? Law of karma does not say that the the person who is doing, the actor, the agent, should be worried about phala. Phala will come, or phala will follow the action result will follow the action automatically. And there is no evaluation also how much result I got from how much action. What is the quantity of what is the quantity and the quality of my action, and what is the quantity and the quality of my result. Even this calculation is not there for a karma yogi. So the law of karma should not be understood in the Newton's sense that every action has its equal and opposite action. This is the nursery stage of understanding. Every action has its equal and opposite action. But Bhagavad Gita says, yes, if every action has its equal and opposite action, why you are worried? You respect that nature, you respect that science, that reaction will follow your action. So you be a karma yogi. Yogastha Guru Karmani. That means do your duty being yogastha, having a mind of equanimity, having a mind of sthitaprajna, that I am not disturbed by the results, I am not disturbed by my agency, I am not disturbed by my freedom. Freedom means I don't misuse my freedom. I am not disturbed because I am karma yogi. My focus is only on lokasangraha. This is humanism. And this is rationality. So humanism, rationalism and theism, they are compatible. Why should we say that a theist is not a rationalist, directly or indirectly? Why should we say that atheism by theistic attitude is only the scientific attitude? What do you mean by scientific attitude? This is one thing. Now we shall enter into another zone of discussion as being philosophers. Now come to our original position, original status of a human mind. Very beautifully it is said that we have both drushta and adrushta. Drushta and adrushta. Now when I start talking like this, then people will think that I entered into metaphysics. No, this is very common sense. Drushta and adrushta. Drushta means what we experience. Drushta means what we see. Drushta means what we feel. What is available to us. That is drushta. Adrushta means that we do not know, that exists, that has its effect upon us. We feel the effect of that, but we can't see, we can't experience, we can't know. That is adrushta. Drushta and adrushta. What is the slogan of rationalist philosophers? What is the slogan of humanist philosophers? I agree with them. They are saying, you please be engaged with what is drushta. Yes, agree. But really what human beings do, if we will analyze the human suffering, mental suffering, anxieties, we are always worried about adrushta. What has not happened and what has happened so long, past. That means we are worried about the past events and we are worried about the future events. We are never present in the present. That means human beings are naturally disturbed by the adrushta which they should not be. That was the problem for Arjuna in the battlefield. He was worried about the past and he was worried about the consequence of the war. Past means he was remembering the relationship that they are my brothers. This is past. And future means he is going to kill his brothers, teachers, the consequence of the war. We all people, we are suffering from the imaginary past and future. Imaginary future and the lost past, the past which will never come, it is gone, it is dead, we hold that, we are worried about that. That means we all, both theists and atheists, both rationalists and non-rationalists, or maybe anybody there is there non-rationalist, we give slogan of this present moment, but in our practical life, we are very much worried about our past and present. This is the negative meaning of adrushta. If we take the positive meaning of adrushta, then we have to admit, science also has admitted that yes, our knowledge is relativity, our knowledge is relative. Whatever we know, that is only phenomenal. And there is an area, vast area of ignorance, that is adrushta. This has been admitted by Immanuel Kant, who is a critical philosopher, who is a rational philosopher. And that has been admitted by science. That yes, the sphere of human knowledge is only the human sphere. Beyond the human sphere, that is natural sphere. Because sun is not the creation of a man, moon is not the creation of a man, the natural phenomena that is not regulated by human desire, human direction, human power. So that is nature, and nature is independent of man. Man is a part of nature. So this dichotomy is there. So drushta and adrushta both are there. Kant says it is phenomena and that is noumena. It is physics and that is metaphysics. It is seen and that is unseen. But if we take that adrushta in a very positive sense, then the theist people, they, what they are doing, they are taking the adrushta part as a God or Ishwar. This much. They are not doing such crime. They are taking that adrushta part as Ishwara or a God. But what the atheists or rationalist people they claim because adrushta is adrushta, we should not be worried about that. We should not give any name to that. We shall be engaged with the drushta, the phenomenal world, the scientific world, and whatever is available to us. But this is not human life. We should not restrict human mind to a particular format. Mind should remain open for both physics and metaphysics. Mind should remain open for both empiricality and transcendentality. Mind should remain open for both thesis and antithesis. If there is a claim, we should be ready to accept its antithesis, its opposite. Otherwise, our mind is incomplete. Otherwise, our mind is not dialectical. Otherwise, our mind is not rational. We shall be one-sided. I am talking it to both theists and atheists. Even I am talking to theists. If you are a theist also, you should not disrespect the atheists. If they do not believe in God, let them live their lives. What is your problem? If you believe in God, so what? At least you have to ultimately become a good human being, be a theist or atheist. Therefore, Socrates said, unexamined life is not worth living. Your life should be examined. Examined does not mean that you should hold in dogma that I am a theist or an atheist. So that means who is guiding region? That was my question. Consciousness is guiding my region. Therefore, our regions vary from time to time. Our regions vary from person to person. Even we also have different regions at different times. We agree and disagree with ourselves also. So that is the limitation of region. And the last point I shall say, region has its own limit. If we are really rational, we should know the limit of our knowledge, the limit of our rationality. Immanuel Kant has said that the pure reason cannot explain the noumena. In the level of noumena, we have to deal with the practical reason. So reason is logical, reason is mathematical, reason is a tool. That helps us as artificial intelligence helps us. Similar reason helps us for having sound argument, for having a synthesis between two opposites. This is a tool, and we are happy that we are rational. We are happy that we have a very beautiful tool that is reason. But that should not be entertained at the cost of our emotion, at the cost of our spirituality. I don't use spirituality only for this sense that people will say that this is related to supernaturality. If we think that we have a tool that is reason, then that is rationality. Similarly, if we say that there is another tool that is consciousness, that is spirituality. Spirituality is not a very big concept. When if we claim that we are rational, we have rationality, that means we accept reason as a tool. Similarly, we are spiritualists when we accept consciousness as a tool. Similarly, we are sensualists when we accept sense organs as tools, as tools. So I am a sensualist because I have sense organs. That means I am an animal. I am an animal. I am a jantu. I am an animal. There is no doubt at all. I am an animal. At the same time, I am a rational animal. Similarly, at the same time, I am a spiritual, rational animal. This is my identity. I should not limit myself only to the empiricism, only to the sensualism. I should not limit myself only to my rationality. I should not limit myself only to the spirituality. So that's I should have a integral human personality. So law of karma is a must because whatever we are doing, it has a future perspective. Those who reject law of karma, that means they don't have any future perspective. Even they are also doing some karma. They are also claiming that by human intellect everything has been created, science has created everything. That means if they say that they don't believe in law of karma, law of causation, then this their works also stand contradictory. They can't say that my thought, my rational thought will create something, and they claim that everything is accidental. That means they cannot claim the future perspective that this will our rationality, our humanism will have a better civilization because they don't believe in the effect system. They don't believe in the law of karma, law of causation. So how can they predict? How can they ascertain that their rational thinking will create something? This is contradictory by nature. So law of karma means that whatever we are doing, it has its consequence. But ethics says we should not be worried about that consequence. Bhagavad Gita says that in niskama karma. If law of karma will be taken so seriously with its rejection, then one should not take his pension after his service, and his wife should not take the family pension after the death of the person, because we don't recognize the past work. Man is dead means he is dead. He is retired from his service means he is retired. Then why should he will take pension? He will argue, no, this is our service contract. With that contract, I have joined in my service. Therefore, this is not law of karma. This is the natural consequence of my karma. Natural consequence. If this will be his argument, then we shall say that means you have a faith that you will get pension, but you are saying that everything is accidental. At least you think that your pension is incidental. You will die, but your family will get family pension. Who will come to see, witness this? Man lives with this faith that if I shall die, if I shall retire, my past karma will give me present pension. If I shall die, my past karma will give family pension to my family. After my death, we live with this principle, but when we're giving argument, we are arguing differently. So my submission is this: a theist can be a humanist, can be a rationalist. Similarly, an atheist may not be a rationalist, may not be a humanist, vice versa. That means to be a humanist, to be a rationalist, it does not matter whether one is a theist or one is an atheist. Namaskar to all of you. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much, Dr. Das, for your very thought-provoking talk. And though the theme that you have chosen for explanation appears to be very debatable, but you have made the compatibility of humanism, rationalism, and theism, where your stand is very clear, and you have said how humanism promotes freedom, human values, and moral values, and at the same time how religion has its own limits. You have given the claims of humanism, the claims of rationalism, and theism. At that time, you have also given your stand, and at last you have given that how that is they are the dispute between uh, theism and atheism, and I think that all kinds of misunderstanding and disputes among the theist and atheist, that it is due to the misunderstanding of the logic of the religious language. And the philosophy studies the logic of language and analyzes the concept involved in each language. And you have, being a philosopher, you have given your logical clarity on the three concepts. It's very good, and it is very interesting also. And now I would like to request our learning participants to have their queries, and observations, and comments, if any. And at first, I would like to request Professor Ranjit Ghosh sir, sir, pranam sir, Ranjit Ghosh sir, to give his observation on it. Over to Ranjit sir.
Thank you, Dr. Maharana. This is such a broad topic that Dr. Das has discussed in a very short way. It itself brings many questions, but broadly, I accept his position, because theism and rationalism, they are not incompatible. The problem is with the rationalists, those who claim Hetuvadis. That is the problem. The way they are posing. When I inquire about the Hetuvadis, which is being propagated by my friend Professor Dhaneshwar Sahu, I even charged him by saying that you are a strong rationalist. Rationalism we can divide into two parts. That means accommodative rationalism and a strong rationalism which excludes. But man, by nature, what is rationalism after all? Man cannot but be rational. When we say this, because the rationalism, as he has said, it is the rationality is the distinguishing characteristic of man from animal. So this rationality is so vast, and this is so accommodative. We just cannot say that it will not accommodate theism. Now the thing is, in theism also we find different types of theism. Now one type of theism a rationalist can very much propagate, that is known as philosophical theism. That's philosophical theism. That take the case of reason. Take the case of Kant, for example. Kant said that our knowledge begins with sense, proceeds then to understanding, and ends in reason. So this middle part, this understanding is most important. That understanding part, we can get the idea of what is philosophical reason. And for that reason, can't try to accommodate existence of God, freedom of will, all those things. And those things are suggesting that reason is so vast, we just can bring it into certain folds by which we can say that reason is only confined to develop a scientific temper, by which we can only accept something from the application of the senses. Now, this is one aspect of the thing. And another thing, when we are talking, why should we talk of sense and reason only? There is another aspect of the human motivation, which is known as will. And we find so many philosophers of emphasizing will. We find Schopenhauer, who says that it is the will to live, and we find Nietzsche, who is saying, who is holding the view that it is the will to power, and lastly, William James says it is the will to believe. Now, these things, will to live, will to believe, and all these things, these are these not rational elements of our life? So reason is so vast. A human being cannot exclude that he will have no idea, he should not have the justification for the existence of a supernatural power, or the past lives, or something, miracles, all these things. Miracles do exist, but this the group of thinkers, they say that if miracles exist, then why on demand the miracle doesn't exist? Now, the thing is, we have our reason in that field. We can say they are having a limited reason. The limits of reason can be applied to them, because they don't believe in a reason which is manifolded. We have to accept reason from its manifoldedness. So if we accept it in that way, everything will be accommodated. And if we take it only as the development of scientific temper, going by the senses and justifying it from the point of view of the senses, then it will having a rigid view about the reason, and we cannot get it properly, and it will be a myopic vision of reason. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much, sir, for being agreeing with Stand and Dr. Das. Dr. Das, do you want to respond to the observation of Professor Ghosh?
No, I totally agree. I
Okay.
totally agree.
Okay, thanks so much. Okay, Dr. Das. Now I would like to invite Dr. Prashant Shukla, sir. Dr. Prashant Shukla, sir. Hello? Hello? Anyway, okay, Dr. K. Umnaran, sir. Dr. Rao, do you want to?
Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you. Namaskar, sir. Namaskar, everybody. Namaskar, Ghosh, sir. Pramod, sir. Namaskar, everybody. Well, it was, first of all, I congratulate Dr. Das, because he was ready for the lecture the last hour. We thought of ending this session, but anyway, he continued. He kept on moving. Okay, that's more important. So that's why I feel very much thankful to him that the program was not cancelled. And regarding rationalism, humanism, and theism, the connectivity that he tried to bring in, well, man doesn't just live by reason, I say. He's backed by emotion also. It is this reason backed by emotion that makes him a human being, a humanist. And being a humanist, and as something, human being is not, I mean to say, he's not something, reason is a tool, but that should be backed by some emotion. If the emotional part is taken away, if we take the emotion, man is only halfway into the process of being called a man. But the rationalist, what Professor Ghosh wanted to say is, the rationalists, they don't look into the emotion. They miss it somehow. Because when they deny somebody of their will, their freedom, and they try to curtail, they try to attack on somebody on the ground that they have a certain belief pattern, it amounts to irrationality than rather than rationality. Because if you are not giving some freedom to somebody to exercise their belief system, you have a belief system. Being an atheist, there is no problem in it. If you are an atheist, there is no problem in it. But there arises a problem when you deny the freedom of others, thinking of a belief system, going into a belief system, and you deny it when you have no reason to deny that belief system. You have no reason to deny the belief system what the theists do. Can you disprove God? Okay, if the theists come with a come with an argument that there is a God, okay, well, we have not seen God, but as Professor Ghosh agrees and Dr. Das also said, but somehow we do feel the presence. Is not the feeling a human element that needs to be accommodated even by a rationalist? That's a question mark. Don't you feel the emotion connecting one another? Do we always go by reason? So this emotional part, though it may not surface up, that is the connecting element that links man to man. And would the rationalists forget at times? At times, mostly they forget. They focus only on reason. So this is one problem. And the second problem is they forget that they challenge something which they don't disprove. Okay, can they disprove that there is no God? Okay, if they say if they say there is no force underlying the functioning of this universe, then they have to prove it that there is no such force. Number one, even the people like Stephen Hawking, going by the strict scientific sense and wanting everything to be purely in the lines of scientific rules and scientific mechanistic explanations, failed to do so, and he found that many of the quantum equations remained unsolved without assuming a force. He said metaphysical, the last line of the brief history of time, without assuming something metaphysical at the edge. So the people of that short even do believe in some force guiding this universe. If you go by Newton's law also, even a small machine, suppose we have created, or something that is the object is lying with us, can the object move without some force being applied on the object? It will not move. Newton's first law does clearly say something will be in the state of rest unless and until some external force being applied on it. So there is a force that is required for that body to move. Think of this world as a design, a pattern, an object. Think of that, a big, huge machine. Think of the world that way. So there must be some force to make this world as a machine to become operational. We don't know it. We are limited. We don't know it. That our ignorance doesn't amount to say that such a machine or such a force doesn't exist. This is my line of thinking. If we don't know something, we don't know something. Okay, but we should have an attitude to know that thing. But denying that there is no such thing is to commit a big fallacy, a big mistake. And what is reason all after? Reason is all after, the scientific attitude is all after discovering something new. What that was unknown yesterday has become known today. And the reason provides a basis to this. This was unknown to us, and now it is known to us. Someday, someday, we don't know. We don't know what will happen. What will happen? But someday, say, even going by the lines of the Indian philosophic tradition, when we exercise the mind, as Professor Das was pointing out, when we make the use of mind rationally, we say when the mind moves outside, we have a drashta. And why do we forget about the adrashta when the mind negates itself from the sense organs, controls it, exercises control over it, squeezes itself, and tries to focus itself inside. When the mind becomes tranquil, when the mind becomes peaceful, and the mind is not dragged by the sense organs to go outside, it is natural on the part of the mind to be focused inside. A cool state, a calm state. Maybe many those who have practiced that meditative state have experienced such a state where they feel they have experienced something mystical, not in just in the Eastern world. It has been even it has been experienced, it has been commented even in the Western world, something mystical, something indescribable that they have touched to. How can we do the rationalist have any sense to disprove such such a thing is not happening? If they don't, then the rationalists, well, they have a freedom not to believe something. They are free to do so, but at the same time, they have no right to curtail the freedom of others who have a certain belief system and who go by that system. So, in that sense, I think Professor Das is very much justified. And one more thing that comes to my mind is when a rationalist goes on with the ethical theories, he may be into the deontological fold or he may be into the teleological fold. Those who fall into the deontological fold, they turn up as theists. Those who turn up into the deontological fold, they turn up as theists. And those who committed to the consequences, because they are not committed to the principle, they are just committed to the consequence, they turn as atheists to the larger degree. This is my belief. Because those who are committed to the principles, they'll go on for looking for the ground of the transcendental ground of those principles, and they may end up somewhere. I don't know whether they end up or not, but that the search remains in them for a transcendental ground of those principles on which they work on, and they are not concerned about the consequences. But those who are concerned about the consequences, because they are not principle based, they don't have a principle, but they always call themselves, we are based on the best of our reason, but they fail in large ways, not exercising the basic human values, the basic human values for which the human beings are known for. So there lies the problem. I think this much I should say to the entire talk and to the comments of Professor Gauss. Thank you so
I
much.
just want to add one thing. When you are talking of emotion, it came to my mind that you see our existential situation is such that we have to accommodate certain transcendental. So that is how we can negate the proposition of a rationalist or the strong rationalist, as I am saying. I am not branding the bringing the name into the theory into the air, because they don't have a sufficient logical theory to justify themselves. But because you see our human situation is such, existential situation is such that at some time or other we think of the transcendental. Suppose we are suffering from a very disease which is prolonged disease we are suffering, then immediately we are thinking of some transcendental, that how the cure will come. If the doctor is not the medicine is not responding, then how it will be cured. So in that way, that itself is accepting a position by which we can say that they are also believers in philosophical theism, not theism in the sense of a single theism, monotheism or polytheism, or all these things are not with them. But the philosophical theism is very much ingrained in the rationalistic temper of man. This is my point of view. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thanks so much, Dr. Rao. Thanks so much, Ghosa. Then I would like to request Professor Pramod Kumar to respond to the
Yes,
queries
yes.
and
No,
observation.
no, 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 no. And I am very happy that it is understood. It is understood. Region has two functions. Ranjit sir, I am. Region has two functions. The atheists, the rationalists, they focus on only one function, that is analysis. But there is a very strong function of a reason, that is dialectics, dialectical use of reason. When you see, now you two people spoke. Ranjit sir said something, Dr. Rao said something, Kailas Mahana said something. But I am the third person. I am taking them as thesis or antithesis, or all are thesis, or all are antithesis to me. Who is that person? So when reason functions in a dialectical approach, there is a transcendentality. What you said, Ranjit sir said. Transcendentality is a must when our reason functions in a dialectical approach. That if, yes, if this is also very social. When we are living with our wives, very emotional aspect of our life, we are very much careful that if we appreciate her, we are wrong. If we blame her, we are wrong. Whatever we speak, we are wrong, and they are always right. So I am very much careful when I speak to my wife. Thesis is wrong, antithesis is wrong. So I should remain silence. So silence is that zone, that transcendental zone, that I called zero mind, that is Titapagya in Bhagavad Gita, that witness, that is the consciousness, that sees the function of a thesis and antithesis. It is said by Western people. Hegel has said this. Karl Marx has said this, but their flavors are different. But they have used reason in a dialectical way. So reason is not only analytical. This is a very wrong thing. Reason has, and reason is the only ladder through which we can enter into the transcendentality. Otherwise, not. But after reaching that point, ladder is not necessary. Language is not necessary. Reason is not necessary. Human mind has that capacity to enjoy that transcendentality. This is not only said by Indian philosopher, this is very well established, and Immanuel Kant is famous for that. His philosophy is called the philosophy of transcendentalism, criticism, and criticism is meant for transcendentalism. Criticism is not for only for criticism, it is meant for transcendentalism. He surrendered that yes, the best use of sense experience and the best use of reason, I just know the phenomenal world. There is a world of adrushta or noumena beyond our best faculties of knowing. Thank you. So I think this the purpose of this talk is
Sir, one
yes,
thing,
yes,
well,
yes.
a small clarification. Well, when we talk of Nishkama Karma, we say we are focused only on our duty, we don't have a sense of agency, but at the same time, somehow relate Nishkama Karma with Loka Sangraha in mind. So, well, it is Kamana is not there in the same. It is not for the self, but still, then Loka Sangraha is the natural outcome, or a Nishkama Karmi has in mind that have a Loka Sangraha. Because if we say that it has in mind a conception of a Loka Sangraha, then maybe Nishkama Karma is again having a teleological bearing in its approach. Because the Nishkama Karmi, he has no agency, he has no sense of agency, he has no desire, he has no, but he is committed to his duty, sense of duty. So, but when at the back of the mind, if something of Loka Sangraha ponders him, then actually a consequentialist element is again peeping in. Now, how do you see this, sir? Sometimes it disturbs me. Okay.
Yes, yes, yes. So the karma yogi is a rational being. We have to understand this. And there is a difference between asa and asakti. You will have some asa, some hope, that some kamana. It is kamana is a must. Otherwise, you cannot be motivated to do anything. That is asa. You have an asa, but that asa should not be your asakti. That kamana should not be your vasana. So how lokasangraha is possible by you when you are qualified by the previous tests, previous examinations, when Lokasangraha is possible, when you are able to act according to agency, when ego is suspended, naturally that space is filled by Lokasangraha. When you fail to do something for Lokasangraha, when you are doing something for yourself, then that door is closed. When your ego is suspended, you surrender yourself to your duty. Naturally, that is meant for Lokasangraha, and that kamana is a good kamana. Suppose whatever you are eating, you are vomiting. But doctor says you take that medicine for vomiting, at least that will hold you and that will cure your vomiting. So all kamanas are not bad. We should have that kamana that should not generate further kamanas. So this is the technique that is called Yogastha, Yoga Karmesu Kausalam. This is the Kausala. We have to know the technique of doing an action. So the point is, this Lokasangraha is the highest ideal of Karma Yoga. This is attained when all others qualifications have been attained. Number one, you should have asa. That means you have an orientation for the result, but you should not hang over the results. You should not be too much worried about the result. That is asakti. You may have some asa. You have an asa. Suppose I have an asa that my talk will be very nice. But if I have asakti, then I cannot accept any criticism. This is the problem. Man gets frustration out of that. My asa should not become my asakti. So this qualification is fulfilled. The second qualification is I should not have the sense of agency, katrutva bhava. Then I should take my action with freedom, free will. When all these qualifications are satisfied, people know or may not know your action is for the society. Your book, your thought is recorded for the society. Only few people are present here, but this is recorded and this will be uploaded in YouTube. So this is open for all. So not that you start your program with have a plan that this will benefit 100 people. But if you do it with a sense of a yajna, then that will work as a yajna. People will be benefited by the good works today or tomorrow in future. If you have done a bad work, that will be condemned also today or tomorrow. So the choice is yours. So I shall do niskama karma, and that will be affected for the welfare of the people automatically, because good breeds good. Always good things create good results. And we should not be worried about that. Just do your duty, do your duty. We don't have time for the consequence. We don't have time for any consideration, even Lokasangraha. Don't think that. I am telling, just we are discussing. But when I am doing my work, I told now that this will be viewed by many people in YouTube. I told only because we are discussing. But the moment I was speaking extempore, you have marked that I was totally on the screen. Nobody can disturb me, not even my family members. I was in that state of speaking. That is Karma Yoga. After that, I don't know whether Ranji sir will appreciate me or you will criticize me or you will appreciate me. All these are consequences I don't know. And how it will benefit people in YouTube, I don't know. But it will. It will, because I have a good will, as Ranji sir said. Whenever there is a good will, therefore Immanuel Kant said, the highest virtue is the good will. Sadicha, sadicha. So sadicha is the highest virtue. And
Another
Lokasangraha,
concept that our actions should be with a with the principle of sakhi bhava,
Sakhi Bhava,
which
yes.
accommodates all binaries.
Yes, yes.
And when all binaries are evaporated, then that is lokosangraha. That is
Yes,
the
sir.
gist of the thing.
Yes, sir. And if you think that Sakhi Bhava is mystical, if you think that Sakhi Bhava is supernatural, then we are undone. Then we have nothing to say. At least we should have this much conviction that beyond these two binary opposites, there is a transcendentality. This much. And that leads to a perfect humanism. Otherwise we are animals. Animals don't have transcendentalism. Only human beings can understand transcendentalism. Thank you. Thank you, sir. We shall conclude here.
Okay. Done.
Okay, thanks so much, Dr. Das. Okay, for your very excellent talk and excellent uh, responses also to our question raisers or those have submitted their observation, Professor Ranjit Ghosh sir and Professor Dr. K. Obnada Rao sir. So I extend my gratitude to Professor Ranjit Ghosh sir, the way he has given his observation and his queries. And we are also grateful to Professor K. Obnada Rao for his good understanding of the topic and for adding something to Professor Das. And Professor Das has also very excellently reacted or responded to both the learned audience. Okay, so on behalf of Philosophy Family, I extend my gratitude to Dr. Pramod Kumar Das for and today I think that that is his talk is like an intellectual yajna or or lokasangraha, and it will be very benefiting to all of us because we think that okay, the theme that he has chosen is very debatable at first, but at the conclusion we think that at there is a good compatibility of the three concepts. So I extend my congratulations to Professor Das for his good understanding, for his excellent understanding of the topic, and the stand that he has taken is very much appreciable. Okay, thanks so much, Dr. Das. Thanks so much. Okay,
My last word,
Ghosh.
my last words.
Yes.
Region transcends regions.
Yes, good.
Region assimilates regions.
Oh, good.
If region fails to do this, that is not a region. That is dogmatism.
Excellent
Region,
statement.
yeah,
Excellent
yes,
statement.
region should transcend regions.
Yes.
Okay, and
Excellent statement.
that comes to human life in the period of adult, not in a childhood. A
Yes,
child
yes,
lives with emotion. An old father lives with emotion. Old father argues throughout his life, but at the last moment, he needs affection from the children.
yes.
Care,
Oh,
attention. Okay, so here
yes,
money does not matter.
yes, yes,
Ranjit sir goes to Mumbai to his daughter's house. Many. I am just giving his
yes,
example.
yes, yes,
Why, for what? To pass some time with the children.
yes,
Now children are living in America, England.
yes,
Okay, so this is not life. We don't we do not prefer industrial life, postmodern life. We need emotion.
yes,
Thank you,
yes.
thank you, thank you. So this
Thank you. And
session is declared closed. Thank you
okay,
all.
okay.